Puzo is from Plainville.
All right, for this next person, I don't know how many of you, well, there's a lot of people here, I don't know how many of you people were involved in the group discussion on the Facebook page, Gun Control Equals More Crime. But this one individual supported this page with facts. He kept people under control because it's a touchy situation. But Jesse Sweeney, where are you? This guy has been a huge support, and I want to thank him. And he gets his moment to speak. Thank you for being here.
Let's put this right up here. As you can see, I like a little bit of humor. And I like to mix it in with the facts. And actually, can somebody hold this for me? I don't have to sit down. I appreciate it. Well, we've heard a lot today, and I'd like to thank the Oath Keepers, CCDL, Mr. Wiemat, and everybody that's spoken so far. As I was going along, I noticed that a lot of my facts had already been taken up. We know that the Second Amendment is not about hunting, it's not about target shooting, it is about prevention from tyranny. How then can the government decide to take away a right that protects us from them? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
The better to enslave you.
We've also heard the facts that they're using the Sandy Hook incident to propel this in the media. Using children to propel a political agenda is shameful.
Yes.
It is disgusting.
Yeah. They have no shame.
I know another man who stood behind children as a shield. His name was also named Hussein. The Second Amendment was designed to be a last line of defense for a limited federal government. They don't seem very limited these days, though, do they? No. We got a lot of people out here. Some people have gone home. I know my feet are cold and ice blocks. But we got a whole lot more than at a 10th Amendment rally, or a 7th Amendment rally. And that's because we have the Second Amendment. How, after seeing all the facts that have been presented here, can people seriously argue for gun control? And I can sum it up in one word: manipulation. Rahm Emanuel, the president's former chief of staff, said it outright years ago: you never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by this is that an opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. And that's exactly what we see them doing here now. It's scary. Legislation is not supposed to be based on the feelings of children, first of all, especially not children that have just suffered a tragedy less than a month ago. Legislation is not supposed to be based on emotion or fears, but on facts and legal precedents. We shouldn't see a president and a vice president attempting to work around Congress. Congress, our representatives. That means they are trying to work around us. We have to draw that line in the sand, and this is where we draw it. Absolutely. I can assure you that the gun control people are in fact calling the legislative office building. They're calling their senators. So you have to do the same. You have to speak your mind, and you have to tell them what we want. I want to see you burning up the phone lines, filling up their voicemails. Make their interns go and fill up the toner in their copying machines and fax machines.
They have short memory. You got to call
Every day. Let's go Shawshank Redemption on them. We see a lot of clever memes out there on the internet. I wanted to share one with you. This is a picture of an Enfield rifle. it was just sort of mentioned before that they're going to come after your hunting rifles, but before they do so, they're going to call it a sniper rifle. There's something called a slippery slope, and we're on it right now.
Yep.
They start with one. They know that they can't take away all the guns all at once. So they start by banning automatics. Now it's going to be semi-automatics. Then it's going to be a scope allows you to shoot somebody from a mile away, which is ridiculous because there's been like 11 people that have ever done that confirmed.
Arrest them.
You Australians, a lot of people pay attention. They lost their guns and they're running.
Trying to skip through here because so much stuff has already been covered. I don't want to reiterate the same thing. But that's a good thing. The fact that we're saying the same stuff means we're all on the same page.
Yeah! That's right!
I'd like to point out the fact that there was a 6-year-old boy who was suspended from school for making his fingers into a pistol shape and saying "pow." It has gone too far when that happens. Who amongst us did not play cops and robbers as a child?
Jerks! Cowboys and Indians! Morons! Socialists!
I like seeing everybody out here. I like being out here. I like being able to speak to you all. But I'd rather not have to do it. And if they understood the Second Amendment, we'd never have to rally like this. So I'd like to close with some positive thought that I've seen. And it's a quote from Mr. Rogers. I'd rather focus on something like this than have to fight for a right that our founders never intended us to have to fight for. It's a lot easier to fight to keep it, though, than to get it back. Mr. Rogers said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find the people who are helping.' To this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and I'm always comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world." Mr. Fred Rogers.
Yeah!
Thank you again for your time.